What it do, Dream Team? It's your boy Neal, back with another reaction video, guys. Here we are with NBA Legends explain why 96 Bulls would kill the Warriors. We must be talking about the before Kevin Durant Warriors or the after Kevin Durant Warriors, and still that would be a tough task. But I could give the Bulls that. With those Warriors with Kevin Durant, no, they're not beating. I didn't watch the '96 Bulls, so I guess my opinion may be invalid. But still, that Warriors team, it's insane to have the best shooter to ever touch a basketball, along with one of the top scorers to ever touch a basketball, along with probably another top 10 shooter to ever touch a basketball. Along with Draymond, who's absolutely phenomenal. I feel like he's the key in all the things that don't get noticed. He's one of the best guys in all the things that you don't notice on a basketball court. And I feel like he's really an engine for that team. But that team's disgusting, bro. But I know y'all had Mike. I know y'all had Scotty. I know y'all had Horace Grant. Was he on the '96 Bulls? I don't know. Dennis Rodman. Don't get me. I'm not saying it's not a tough matchup for Golden State. I'm just saying Golden State wins. But we're gonna jump into this. Before we do, make sure you subscribe to the channel, ring the notification bell, get the video a thumbs up so it gets suggested. You guys got a favorite video suggestion? You can subscribe to Patreon and drop it in the comment section. What we got?
Able to get involved as he's able to get inside and go right through.
Hey guys, this is Dominique Wilkins.
Hey, this is Sean Kemp.
This is Gary Payton.
Hey, this is Pau Gasol.
NBA fans, what's up? This is Vince Carter here.
Hey, what's up? This is Matt Barnes. If you're an old school NBA fan like I am, make sure you check out the Basketball Time Machine with my man Sean David.
Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome back to the Basketball Time Machine, and I welcome you also to your weekly dose of old school NBA basketball. In today's episode, I want to take a look at NBA legends giving their opinion on who would win the 1996 Chicago Bulls or the Golden State Warriors with Kevin Durant.
No.
But before we dive into that, let me ask you guys for a small favor. Please subscribe to the channel and like the video if you enjoy the content. Alright, enough said, let's get right down into it. Now the first player's opinion that I want to take a look at is from Byron Scott, obviously great NBA coach and a Showtime Laker who also played against Michael Jordan and the 1996 Chicago Bulls. Let's have a look.
I got another question for you. And this is another one where I wage war.
Yes, sir.
The Golden State Warriors with Kevin Durant against the 72-10 Bulls. Who wins that series? And before you answer, I'm going to tell you this. Honestly, and I'm being nice, I give the Warriors a game. I think it's a sweep. I give them a game.
No, I give them two.
That's disrespectful, bro.
But I'm going with the Bulls.
Okay. You can pick the Bulls, but you say sweet, bro. Now you just out of hand. Now you're just out of hand with it, bro. It's just disrespect.
No, I give them two.
But okay.
But I'm going with the Bulls.
Okay.
I give them two. Because you look around at that Chicago Bull team and you look at that Golden State team, and you know this is always the question. Oh, who gonna guard Steph? Who gonna guard Clay? Who gonna guard? Okay, you do know they had three of the best defenders of all time.
The Bulls.
Yeah.
4 out of 5.
Yeah, in Michael Jordan,
Scottie Pippen, Ron Harper,
Dennis Rodman, and Ron Harper. So they gonna guard the shit out of them.
But here's what the the fans, the people that ain't never played will say. Man, who's stopping Steph with the threes and Clay with the threes?
That's what I'm talking about.
Right.
So I'm gonna say Rod or MJ is guarding Steph.
Right.
Rod or MJ is guarding Clay.
Right.
Kevin Durant, Scottie Pippen got you.
Now he's not stopping a Kevin Durant.
He's not stopping him, but he's gonna make it hard.
He gonna give
Kevin,
make it
KD
hard. The migraine he
gonna make it because again, Scotty 6'7", 6'8",
right.
long, Kevin 6'11", really.
Right.
He ain't gonna stop him, but he gonna be right there on every shot.
Okay.
And he gonna be in his ass to make him put it on the floor. He not gonna give him open shots.
And Dennis Rodman will literally be in Draymond's ass.
Oh yeah.
Literally, be in it.
Again, that's a carbon copy.
Right.
Those are two. Right. You got two great defenders.
Yes.
Draymond's a great defender.
Right.
Draymond handles the ball and initiates offense. Obviously, that's not Dennis's forte. But rebounding and defending, Chicago beats them in 5-6.
Now the next player's opinion.
I think it depends on what era you put them in. I still think the Warriors win, but if you put the Bulls in this era, Scotty can be all up in KD's eye, but he loves doing that swipe through move. So swipe through, foul. You know what I'm saying? And Steph and Clay literally do not stop moving with or without the basketball. It is literal non-stop movement. They're running miles on a basketball court, and Draymond's just looking. Draymond's finding it. And KD, you're just not going to stop Kevin Durant. On the other side, you're not going to stop Mike for sure. But I just think the spacing that the Warriors will have and the shooting, I think it's just too much to overcome. It's a huge task. I got Warriors, and I'll say in 6. I'll say Warriors in 6. And I hate the Warriors. I hate to even say that because I can't stand the Golden State Warriors. But Warriors in 6.
Defending, Chicago beats them in 5-6.
Now the next player's opinion is very interesting because he's not only a player but also an NBA coach. He played for the 1996 Chicago Bulls and he coached the Golden State Warriors. So who would know better than Steve Kerr? Let's take a look.
Historically?
Yeah, if you take any of the great teams, you're matching them up with the 17 Warriors. Who's the team that you're like, oh shit, they would be a problem? Because I would say the 86 Celtics, but I'm biased.
Yeah, and I'm biased, so I'm going to say the 96 Bulls. I think honestly, when I look back at that Bulls team, that team was actually built to play today. Now, minus the volume of three-point shooting, but I think that team was capable of it. But when you're talking about the versatility that you need to defend today, if you throw out onto the court Ron Harper, Michael Jordan, Scottie Pippen, Tony Kukoc, and Dennis Rodman, that's a 2020 defense.
Right.
Those 5 guys can guard anybody, and then offensively, nobody ever could guard Michael Jordan then. You can only imagine now with the spacing and the rules. And Kukoc was unbelievable. He was way better than people really remember him for.
I feel that.
When I heard this at home,
I don't know too much about Tony Kukoc. So
then people really remember him for.
When I heard this at home, I had this one question. What rules are we playing?
Ooh.
Right. Are we playing at your time?
Salary cap.
Or are we playing now?
Okay.
Because hand checking in their time,
right?
There's no hand checking now. You touch them now, it's a foul.
It's correct.
In their time, they could push you all around the court.
It would have been harder for the Warriors to score driving because in the 90s when you drove, you get chucked with a forearm.
All that running through the paint.
Man. You get held. All these ticky-tack fouls from the 3 they wasn't called. And so, if they played in today's rules, maybe Golden State, because they have the advantage of today's rules. But if they played in the 90s, I don't think it'll be close.
Hard fouls are different. Flagrant fouls are different. Like what they're looking at for flagrant. Now, that was a typical foul. Let's go. It's just different. And we're talking about, free flowing, do what you want, you can't touch me.
Right.
And we're talking about physical basketball. I remember playing against Scotty my rookie year, trying to figure it out. I'm looking at the ref that's a foul.
Right.
Did you see that? He's
welcome to the
and
NBA,
then give you one of these,
man.
play on.
Yes.
I'm like, oh man, he used to laugh.
Speaking in an era where, look at Golden State. They won 73 games there.
Mm-hmm.
Now they go out and get arguably the best player in the game. It's hard to make those comparisons and not have the rules in place too.
That's my only thing. The rules.
And that's the only thing I harped about too was what era are we setting them in? I know I said Golden State in both areas. But when they do talk about physicality, they have a good point of driving, and you can literally get clothesline, I feel like. Or I don't know if that was back in the 80s. I don't know if they cleaned it up a bit by the 90s. But 96, I'm not sure. But the flagrants were completely different. Completely different forms of bat. And probably why the flagrants are the way they are now, because they was trying to take people's heads off back then. But, okay, so... it's still tough, man. Maybe Golden State in 7 back then. I know you're gonna hate me. I know the comments are coming. Maybe Golden State in 7 back then. Today, Golden State in 6.
And not have the rules in place too.
That's my only thing.
That's
It's like the rules, like which rules are you playing? And then I think that makes you can kind of decide. You can kind of decide, so to speak. But I mean, both teams are good, and it's like it's all hearsay.
I mean, this
it's good barbershop talk. For
right.
Sure.
I mean,
I guess
talk about the
a
matches.
better question is, which team is better? The 73 Golden State team with the wins, or the team that won? What did they win this year?
66, 67?
Right.
I mean, which one of those teams are better?
This Golden State team is better. It wasn't even close. This Golden State team was definitely better than the year before. Or the 73 win team, bro. I mean, they basically almost had who did they get rid of? Harrison Barnes. They basically traded Harrison Barnes for Kevin Durant. You tell me which team is better.
What did they win this year?
66, 67?
Right.
I mean, which one of those teams are better?
I think most people would take this year's team, right?
Golden State Warriors were in the era of the Chicago Bulls. They would just reconstruct their big guys. They would have a guy like Rick Mahorn on their team, and then they would be able to play that way. But if you put Rick Mahorn in this era, he wouldn't be able to guard Draymond Green, because he wouldn't be able to come out and guard him. But in that era, they would just have to change personnel slightly and then still be as good. If you add guys like, no disrespect, but if you add guys like, if you give Steph Curry and Klay Thompson the same big men that Isaiah Thomas and Joe Dumars had, they could do the same thing in that era. But they would need James Edwards. So you would just change the personnel. It wouldn't change the way they win.
You missed one point. The defense was, constructed a little different.
No, that's why you got to change personnel.
No, but I'm saying back then you was able to hand check. And
right, so you just change personnel a little bit.
They'd be good, but they're not going to win.
But if you took the Detroit Pistons, Isaiah would still be Isaiah, without question. But Rick Mahorn couldn't guard Draymond Green in this era. He couldn't guard him in this era.
He could, but we're not comparing it to this era. We're talking about the Chicago
But you can't take that team because they're constructed under the rules that are here. So they're saying, okay, under these rules, can you bring those teams here?
Listen, and people even when you try to make a fair, honest comparison, people think you're hating. Michael Jordan, Scottie Pippen, Dennis Rodman, Tony Kukoc, Ron Harper would be better today. They would be better players today, in my opinion. Michael Jordan, Scottie Pippen, Dennis Rodman, Tony Kukoc, they would be better. There's no hand checking Michael Jordan, Scottie Pippen, Tony Kukoc.
I'm just saying.
Who would win between the 72-10 Bulls and the Warriors with KD? And I'm going to be honest with you. I give the Warriors maybe 2 games.
Ooh.
Maybe.
He went from maybe a game to maybe 2 games.
I'm going to be honest with you. I give the Warriors maybe 2 games.
Ooh.
Maybe.
So what you really have...
And I don't give a damn about the eras.
No. Okay, so when it comes to styles, you have a defensive team.
4 to 5 starters.
You're talking about...
Premier defenders.
You're talking about just straight premier defenders. And they're all at the same position.
2 3-point assassins.
And then you have all guard play on the... But you have Michael Jordan.
You got Scotty.
You have Michael, they have a KD.
Scotty's on KD. He ain't stopping KD, but it's going to be a tough day at work.
So Mike on Steph? Who's stopping Steph?
Ron Harper's going to be a problem.
You're going to pick
Ron. Mike on Clay?
Michael's destroying Clay.
Yeah, it's going to. But you got to remember, it's because that was the team, that was a small ball team that nobody actually paid attention to.
Yeah, for sure.
So it's a perfect matchup.
You know, in my opinion, the 1996 Bulls are the greatest team of all time. And I want to give credit where credit is due. The Golden State Warriors with Kevin Durant were a sensational team. But defensively, I mean, come on, they had Pippen, they had Jordan, they had Rodman, and they had Ron Harper, two of the greatest defenders of that era. And I just think defensively, they would kill the Warriors. And yeah, as I said, in my opinion, they were the greatest team of all time, and nobody will be able to change my mind when it comes to that. All right, you guys, that was it for today's episode. I hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to leave a like, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you next time on the Basketball Time Machine.
I can respect his opinion, and I wouldn't argue with anybody that would choose the Bulls. I just think they were premier defenders, but now defense was completely different in their era. Like, you were allowed to play physical defense. You're not allowed to do that. You're not allowed to touch these guys. You're not allowed to have your arm out there. You're not allowed, you know what I'm saying? And so, are you still premier defenders with the rules that stop you from being able to play physical defense, that stop you from being able to play the style of defense that made you a premier defender? So, that would be... y'all know I got the Warriors. I think, like my guy said, I would think my opinion would change about that matchup just because. But I didn't see the Bulls. So, however you feel about it, it's however you feel. I won't argue with you, whoever you choose. That's all we got. You guys got a favorite video suggestion? You can subscribe to Patreon or drop it in the comment section. Subscribe to the channel, ring notification bell, give the video a thumbs up so it gets suggested. Social media, Patreon, all in the description. All you gotta do is hit the link, follow me, talk to me. Love talking to you guys. You guys are the most incredible team on YouTube. It's your boy Neal. Out.